Hi, my name is Miss Spencer, and welcome to Module 6, Day 12. You will need a notebook, pen or pencil, and worksheets that your teacher has provided. The quote for this module is, "The world is but canvas to our imaginations." Henry David Thoreau. Are you ready for some new exciting learning? I am. Let's get started. Today's agenda is goals and overview, vocabulary, reading Phillis's big test, and sharing out our new learning. The essential question for this module is, how do different art forms impact people in different ways? Today's learning mindset is belonging. I help my classmates help me. The vocabulary goals are to review and extend understanding of word meanings, to use context to determine the meanings of unfamiliar words, and to elaborate on story details by answering questions that contain critical target words to expand vocabulary. Take a minute to pause the video and take a closer look at our critical vocabulary list part 1. Now let's take a look at our critical vocabulary list part 2. Pause the video to take a closer look at the definitions and the examples. Now let's play a vocabulary game called Guess My Word. On each slide will be a hint and you have to guess the critical vocabulary word. This is just an example though. Can you think of a word that is the opposite of nice? It doesn't have to be a critical vocabulary word. Did you say mean? That is correct. Now let's try it with our vocabulary words. My word is the opposite of not giving your permission. I'll give you some time to think about which vocabulary word matches the hint. Did you say consented? That's correct. My word means a place where you were born. I'll give you some time to think about which vocabulary word matches the hint. Did you say homeland? That is correct. My word is the opposite of loose papers. I'll give you some time to think about which vocabulary word matches the hint. Did you say sheath? That is correct. My word is something you might do if you are asked to tell the truth to someone. I'll give you some time to think about which vocabulary word matches the hint. Did you say testifying? That is correct. How'd you do? Now it's time for independent work. With a partner or independently, complete page 133 and know it, show it. Pause the video to complete this task. Let's dig a little deeper into our vocabulary. Analogies. Sometimes you might want to compare two things. One way to compare two words is to use an analogy. An analogy makes a comparison using a similar characteristic and relationship. Analogies can be helpful when learning new vocabulary. By thinking about comparisons between words you know, you can learn new word meanings too. Analogies are shown in pairs. The first pair of words has the same relationship as the second pair of words. Let's take a look at our examples. Nest is to bird as den is to bear. A bird lives in a nest and a bear lives in a den. Example 2. Dog is to bone as cat is to catnip. Well, dogs love bones and cats love catnip. Let's see if we can do example 3 and 4 together. Eye is to see as ear is to, what do we do with our ears? Did you say hear? That is correct. And 4, banana is to monkey as grass is to, monkeys eat bananas. What animal eats grass? I'm thinking of a cow, but I'm sure you can think of another animal that eats grass too. Excellent work. Now let's do some independent work with analogies. Working in pairs, find words in Phillis's big test that you could use to write an analogy. When you write your analogy, leave the last word blank. Pause the video in order to complete this task. Now it's time to share out our analogies. Share your analogy with a new partner or with a family member at home and see if they can fill in the blanks. Pause the video in order to complete this activity. Excellent job so far. Time for a brain break. Pause the video as you get a drink of water and stretch your legs. Here are the reading goals for today. To use text evidence to determine the theme of a piece of literary nonfiction, make inferences about a text's multiple themes, understand the relationship between theme and author's purpose, and to employ inferential skills to determine theme. Let's go over some instructional vocabulary. Inference, a smart guess that readers make based on clues in the text and what they already know. Theme, the big idea, moral, or lesson of a piece of writing. Pause the video to take a closer look at our theme poster. Let's discuss theme on page 60 of Phillis's Big Test. Pause the video to reread paragraphs 7 through 10. Now let's answer some questions. In your notebook, try to answer these 3 questions. Question 1. What are these paragraphs mainly about? Question 2. What do these paragraphs tell you about what Phillis thinks is important? And question 3. What theme is the author introducing here? Pause the video in order to complete this task. Now let's go over some of our answers. Question 1. What are these paragraphs mainly about? The main paragraphs are about how Phillis's past has affected her. Question 2. What do these paragraphs tell you about what Phillis thinks is important? These paragraphs tell me that since Phillis is a slave, she feels like she has to prove that she is an intelligent, capable young woman. And question 3. What theme is the author introducing here? The theme that the author introduces is proving oneself against great odds. Were your answers similar? Now it's time for independent work. You're going to write a scene about what might have happened during Phillis's test. Make sure your scene tells what happened during the exam, presents events in an order that makes sense based on text details about Phillis and her work, uses dialogue and description to tell the story, and includes a conclusion. Pause the video in order to complete this activity. Now it's time to share out. With a partner or with a family member at home, share out your scene about what happened during Phillis's test. Pause the video to complete this task. Great job today. Let's wrap up this lesson. Let's reflect on our learning by sharing how we used our understanding of theme during our independent work time. Pause the video to jot down some ideas. Thank you for learning with me today. If you liked learning with me and you want to continue learning together, here are some YouTube videos where we can continue that learning. Have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.